In the far galaxy of Zetharian, a grand empire ruled many star systems. Its king Vathan the Iron Fist was feared by all. He had power, ships, and armies, but he had only one daughter, Princess Selena, from birth. Selena was different. She had silver eyes, quiet strength, and a calm voice. But when she turned 18, the royal doctors gave terrible news. She is infertile, Your Majesty. She can never bear children. For King Vathan, this was a curse. In Zetharian's culture, a princess without the ability to produce heirs was useless. Her only value was in politics, so when war ended between Zetharian and Earth and peace talks began, the king saw his chance. He would send Selena to Earth not as a diplomat, not as a bride, but as a gift. Let them have her, he said, coldly, a gesture of peace. We do not need broken things. Selena did not cry. She bowed before her father. She had no place in the palace, no purpose. Maybe Earth would be different. The spaceship landed on Earth under heavy guard. World leaders watched as the alien ship opened. Out stepped Selena, dressed in a glowing blue robe, her face calm but empty. She looked like royalty, but inside, she felt like cargo. Dr. Ethan Mason, a scientist working with Earth's Alien Relations Department, watched from a distance. He didn't trust Zetharians, but as he looked into Selena's eyes, he saw something. Strange, not pride, not arrogance, but pain. Selena was placed in a quiet facility in the mountains of Norway. Earth wanted to study her, but carefully. She wasn't a prisoner, but she wasn't free either. Dr. Mason was assigned to check her health. At first, Selena said very little. She followed orders, took the tests, and stayed silent. But slowly, Mason gained her trust. Why did your people send you here? He asked one evening. Because I am broken, she replied softly. And humans accept broken things. Mason didn't believe that. He saw something in her body chemistry, something unusual. Her vitals were changing, hormone levels rising, cellular patterns shifting. This can't be right, he whispered, looking at the medical scans. Selena's biology was reacting to Earth's atmosphere, and to something else. Weeks passed. One day, during a routine checkup, Selena collapsed. Her skin glowed faintly. Mason rushed her to the lab. She's burning up, one nurse yelled. They scanned her again. The results shocked everyone. Selena was pregnant. It was impossible. Zetharian science had declared her infertile. Alien doctors had scanned her 100 times, but here, on Earth, she was carrying life. Dr. Mason stared at the screen. His hand shook. How is this possible? He muttered. Selena lay on the medical bed, her eyes slowly opening. She saw the panic on their faces. What is wrong with me? She asked weakly. Mason looked at her, voice trembling. You're not broken, you're carrying a child. Selena froze, her heart raced, her breath stopped. A child? No, I can't, she whispered. I was told. I would never. Tears rolled down her face. For the first time, she felt fear, not for herself, but for the life inside her. What would her father say? What would the aliens do when they learned? The news spread fast. Earth's leaders were confused, then alarmed. Some wanted to protect Selena, others wanted to study her child. Was it human? Was it alien, or something new? But deep in the shadows of the galaxy, someone else heard the news. King Vathan, when the alien spies reported the pregnancy, his eyes turned cold. That child ... is royal blood, he growled. It belongs to me. He crushed the glass in his hand. Prepare the retrieval team. I want the heir, and I want that traitor daughter dead. Back on Earth, Selena sat alone in her room, holding her stomach. She no longer felt broken. Inside her, a miracle had started, but outside, a storm was coming, and this time Earth would not be ready. Dark clouds moved over the Earth base in Norway. Inside, the lights flickered. The walls were quiet, but tension filled every room. Princess Selena sat in silence, her hands resting gently on her stomach. Her silver eyes stared at nothing. She was no longer just an alien guest. She was something more. She was a mother now. Dr. Ethan Mason didn't sleep that night. He stared at the medical files again and again. The results were the same. Selena was pregnant, not just with any child, but with something unseen in science. Her DNA is changing, he whispered. And so is the baby's. The embryo wasn't fully human, but it wasn't fully Zetharian either. It was something new, a blend of two worlds. The Earth government called for an emergency meeting. Some scientists wanted to terminate the pregnancy. This child is a danger, one of them said. We don't know what it will become. Others believed it was a sign of evolution, a new chapter. But one general said the words that changed everything. What if the aliens come to take it? Everyone fell silent. They were already on their way in the cold vacuum of space. A stealth cruiser moved fast, its symbol marked with Zetharian royal sigils. Inside, Commander Rax, one of the king's personal assassins, received orders: retrieve the unborn heir. Leave no humans alive. Back on Earth, Selena was having strange dreams. In one dream, she saw a child with glowing eyes standing between fire and stars. In another, she heard her father's voice. You betrayed me, Selena. You will regret this. She woke up crying. Dr. Mason entered her room. His voice was soft. How are you feeling? Different, she whispered. Alive, for the first time. Mason smiled, but his eyes showed worry. We may have a problem. The Zetharians know. Selena's face turned pale. She stood slowly. They will come. My father will not let this happen. Meanwhile, Mason's assistant Lara watched him from a distance. She typed quickly on a hidden communicator. Message sent. Subject: confirmed pregnant orders. A reply came seconds later. Delay the doctor. Prepare the extraction. Selena was moved to a hidden underground facility. It was deep beneath the Arctic ice, cold, secure, and isolated. But the baby inside her was growing fast. Too fast. Too fast. Within days, it looked like she was in her second trimester. Human doctors were amazed and terrified. This is unnatural, one said. It's like the child is evolving. Selena could feel it too. The baby was not normal. It was stronger, smarter. It moved when she was afraid. It calmed when she felt peace. He knows me, she whispered. He feels everything I do. Then came the power outage. Alarms screamed through the Arctic base. Lights went out. Doors sealed shut. Something had entered the facility. Soldiers raised weapons. Mason ran to Selena's room but found the door sealed. Open it, he shouted. From the camera as he saw a figure tall, armored with glowing red eyes walking through the halls, killing guards in silence. It was Commander Rax. Inside her room, Selena sat calmly. She closed her eyes and whispered to the baby, I will not let them take you. You are mine. Suddenly, the walls began to shake, the air filled with static. Cameras went dark, then silence, and then a scream. When Mason finally got the door open, he found Selena unconscious but alive. Around her, strange blue energy had burned symbols into the walls, symbols of Zetharian royalty. The baby had defended itself. Mason looked at Selena in shock. What are you carrying? Far above Earth, King Varthan stared at the last message from Rax, cut off mid-transmission. She has protected the air, has power. The king's face twisted in anger. So be it, he growled. If Earth won't give me the child, then Earth will burn. Selena awoke in the medbay, holding her stomach tightly. She whispered only one sentence. He will, to change everything. In the royal palace of Zetharian, silence was rare. But today, it was heavy, the kind of silence before a storm. King Varthan sat on his black stone throne. The room was dark, lit only by floating crystals. Before him, a hologram flickered. Command Rax's final recording. Sparks. Static Vanan image of Princess Selena glowing with blue energy. A symbol burning into the wall behind her, Zetharian royal lineage. And then, the screen went dark. She defied me. With a human, the king whispered. He stood up. His cloak dragged across the floor like thunder. She carries the true heir, and she has awakened his power. His fists clenched. The air in the room rippled. This is treason. This is a threat to the throne. Back on Earth, deep in the Arctic base, Selena remained weak. But her baby was stronger than ever. Dr. Mason sat beside her, scanning the vitals. Heartbeat is strong, but it's not human. And it's not just alien either, he said. Selena looked at him with calm eyes. He is both. That is why my father fears him. Mason leaned closer. You said he has power. What kind of power? Selena's voice was soft but steady. Not destruction, not yet. But something inside him responds to danger. He protects. Mason took a breath. Then we need to protect him too, because Zetharian will return. They were already coming from the edges of known space. 3 Zetharian battle cruisers broke through Earth's early warning systems. They were silent, invisible, and full of elite warriors. At the center ship, King Varthan gave the order. No more warnings, no more talk. Bring me the child or destroy the planet. Earth's military scrambled. The president called an emergency. Council, this is an invasion, one general shouted. Why? For one child. No, Mason said, appearing on the secure line. Not just a child, a hybrid, a royal heir, and something more. Inside the base, Selena began to feel something different. Not pain, not sickness, but voices. She closed her eyes. Flashback. Begins, a memory from Zetharian Selena as a child, running through a garden. She hears her father speak to a priest. If she ever produces an heir with mixed blood, it will destroy the line of kings. That child must never exist. Flashback. Ends. She gasped. He knew. He feared this long ago. Far above, King Varthan activated a secret weapon. A mind beacon, a psychic device used only by royals. He reached out through space, not with ships, but with thought. And deep inside the Arctic base, the unborn child heard him. Selena screamed, clutching her stomach. The room shook. Machines failed. Lights flickered. Mason rushed in. What's happening? Selena fell to her knees, her voice shaking. He's trying to call my baby. Through blood. Through the old ways. Suddenly, the room filled with energy again. A protective field formed around Selena. The child inside her was resisting. He doesn't want to go, she whispered. In the skies above Earth, the Zetharian fleet dropped its cloak. Everyone saw them now. Cities paused. News screens flashed. Zetharian ships have entered orbit. Earth is under threat. But there was no ordinary war. This was a blood war. A war for one child. King Varthan stared down at Earth. My daughter is nothing now, but the heir is mine. He turned to his general. If they do not surrender, burn the base. The general paused. But, your grandson, Varthan's eyes went cold. Then I will make another back on Earth. Mason, Selena and a small security team prepared to evacuate the base, but Selena stopped at the door. If I run, he will follow. If I hide, more will die. We need to stop him, not escape him. Mason nodded slowly. Then we make a stand. As they moved to a new underground hideout, Selena whispered a vow to her unborn child. You are not his. You are not mine. You belong to a better future. She looked at Mason. It's time we tell the world. Not just about me, but what this child means, Mason agreed. A new species, a new beginning. But first we survive. Darkness wasn't just in the sky now. It was spreading inside people's minds. Far beneath the ice, Selena felt it first. A sudden chill, not cold, but something deeper, like someone watching her from inside. She stood alone in her new safe room, breathing slowly. Her baby had stopped moving, not in danger, not asleep, just still. Above ground, Dr. Ethan Mason met with the Earth Defense Council. He held up an image from a psychic scan. They're not just sending warships anymore, he said. They've sent something worse. The generals leaned forward. What is it? Mason looked them in the eye. An assassin, but not of flesh. It kills from inside. On the Zetharian cruiser, King Varthan stood beside a creature wrapped in black robes. Its face was hidden. Its body floated slightly off the ground. This was the Mind Drainer, a weapon so rare it had been used only twice in Zetharian history. I want the child erased. The king growled. Not killed. Erased from the mind, from the womb, from time. The Mind Drainer spoke in a whisper that echoed like wind. She will forget the child ever lived. Back on Earth, strange things began happening. Selena forgot where she was. She'd blink and find herself in a different hallway. She called the baby him one day, and nothing the next. Dr. Mason noticed first. Your memory is slipping. Do you remember his name? Selena looked confused. Name? I haven't chosen one, but she had just yesterday. She had whispered it in tears. Orion. Now she couldn't remember it. Mason ran tests, brain scans, memory maps. Results were terrifying. Someone's rewriting her mind, he said, piece by piece. A soldier beside him panicked. We need to terminate the pregnancy. This is too dangerous. Mason slammed his hand on the table. No, we fight this. Whatever they sent, it's inside the base. They checked every corner, every camera, every room. But the intruder left no footprints, no heat, no sound, only a shadow on the edge of the screen. Late that night, Selena woke up screaming. She clutched her belly. He's fading, she cried. I can't feel him. Mason grabbed her hands. Listen to me. You're stronger than them. But deep inside, something was pulling memories from her, replacing love with emptiness. She heard a voice, cold and ancient. He never existed. You are alone. At the base security station, alarms suddenly shut off. A figure walked through the walls, literally through them. The Mind Drainer had arrived. A black presence moved toward Selena's room, but something unexpected happened as it entered the room. The child woke up inside Selena's womb, Orion pulsed with light. A symbol appeared on her skin, a royal sigil of Zetharian, but altered, mixed with something human. The Mind Drainer hissed. It had felt fear for the first time. The energy burst out from her body, hitting every camera, every wall, every light. The Mind Drainer flew backward, slamming into the steel dot. It shrieked and vanished. Mason rushed in. Selena collapsed in his arms, tears streaming down her cheeks. He came back. She whispered, my son remembered me. Mason held her close. He's not just alive, he's protecting you. You're not losing him. Not today. But not everyone celebrated. Elsewhere in the base, Lara Mason, assistant, watched the chaos unfold. She activated a hidden comlink. Attempt failed. She whispered, but I'm in position for plan B. The voice on the other end spoke only 2 words. Kill her. Sometimes, the enemy doesn't come from the sky. Sometimes, they sit right beside you. The Arctic sky above the secret Earth base had turned red. Zetharian warships still floated in low orbit, silent like vultures. No attack, no message, just waiting. Inside the base, silence was breaking people down. Selena sat in a recovery chair, her eyes heavy, hand resting on her stomach. Orion had stopped glowing. He was calm, but Selena was not. Someone in here wants him gone, she said, quietly. Mason stood at the window, arms crossed. He hadn't slept in 2 days. His voice was quiet. We ran background checks on everyone. All cleared. Selena shook her head. No machine can see loyalty. Only eyes can. She looked at Lara, standing silently at the far end of the room, typing reports and watching. 3 hours later, a security breach triggered in subsection 12 medical storage. Mason and his team rushed to the cameras. Footage showed nothing, no faces, no entry. But one vial was missing. A Zetharian neurotoxin, colorless, undetectable, deadly to hybrids. Only 4 people knew it was stored here, and one of them was Lara. Dr. Mason confronted her. You were near subsection 12 this morning. Lara kept her cool. Her eyes didn't blink. I was collecting samples. You authorized it. Mason checked the logs. The approval was there, but he never gave it. He stared at the screen. His voice shook now. "You're working for them, aren't you?" Lara's face didn't change. "I'm working for survival." She pulled out a small black device and pressed it. The lights went out. The doors sealed and alarms began to scream. Mason ran back to Selena's room. The lights were flickering. Security was gone. Selena stood ready, her hand glowing faintly blue. "She's coming. I can feel her." Suddenly, the wall to her room exploded inward. Smoke, fire, screams. Lara stepped through, wearing Zetherian armor. "You should have never gotten pregnant," she spat. "This child will destroy the balance." Selena's voice was calm, but firm. "He will change it." Lara raised a weapon, silent silver, and aimed at Selena's belly. But before she could fire, Oren reacted. Selena's body flared with light, brighter than before. Her feet lifted an inch off the floor. A shockwave burst out and threw Lara across the room. She hit the wall hard. Her weapon shattered. Mason entered just as the room returned to normal. He pointed a stun gun and fired. Lara fell, breathing but out cold. Hours later, under heavy guard, Lara confessed. "Zetherian wants the child not to live, but never to die either. They want him erased. If he lives, he could take the throne one day." Selena listened in silence, then said softly, "So they would kill their future to protect their past." The next day, Earth Command made a decision. Selena and Mason would go off-grid deep under the Earth, into the hollow zone, where alien tech couldn't reach, and no psychic waves could find them. But the journey would not be easy, and Selena was growing weaker. As they prepared to leave, Mason noticed something. Selena's body was glowing again, but differently, faster, unstable. He ran a scan. His hands trembled. "The baby, he's accelerating." Selena smiled gently. "He's preparing for something." Mason looked at her. "He's coming early." At the same time, King Varthan watched the feed from Lara's final message before her capture. He said nothing, then turned to his generals. "Enough shadows, enough games." He lifted a red stone from his throne, a relic of Zetherian war. "Summoned the World Ender fleet." One general gasped. "But your majesty, that weapon is forbidden by the treaty." Varthan's voice was ice. "So is mixing royal blood with human filth." Back on Earth, Mason helped Selena into the transport pod. Selena whispered, "He's not ready to be born." But they're not ready for him either. Mason looked ahead at the deep tunnel opening before them. "Then let's make sure he's born into a world worth saving." And the pod vanished into the Earth. Not the silence of peace, but the kind that comes before something changes forever. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, hidden from satellites, scanners, and spies, a small underground facility glowed softly. It had no name, only purpose. Inside it, Selena labored in pain. Dr. Mason sat beside her, eyes wide with fear and awe. Sweat covered her face. Her silver skin flickered with pulses of light blue, white, and gold. "He's coming," she whispered. Her voice was calm, but her body was shaking like the Earth itself could feel what was about to be born. The birthing chamber was built in secret. Earth scientists had used both human and Zetherian tech to make it safe, shielded, sealed, but nothing could prepare them for this. Selena screamed, but not in fear, in power, as if her voice was calling to the stars themselves. Above them, in orbit, the Zetherian World Ender fleet moved into position. Red lights lit the black sky like burning eyes. King Varthan stood in his command ship, prepared to fire. "The moment the child is born, we strike." But something happened. His ship's controls began to flicker. His weapons froze. One of the officers turned in panic. "Sire, something is interfering, something ancient, back underground." The moment had come. The lights burst, the walls trembled, and then silence again. A soft cry echoed in the chamber. Not human, not alien. Both. Selena held the child in her arms, her skin glowing with gentle blue light. The baby's eyes opened, and for a second they were mirrors of the stars, swirling, infinite, and watching. Dr. Mason couldn't speak. He only whispered, "What is he?" Selena smiled, tears running down her face. "He is hope, and he is the end of everything old." At that exact moment, around the Earth, strange things began to happen. Satellites turned toward the base. Without command, storms across 3 continents stopped instantly. A comet in deep space shifted direction, as if pulled by a new force. The baby Oren was born, and the universe noticed. But not everyone celebrated. King Varthan fell to his knees as ancient Zetherian weapons refused to obey him. The ship lights dimmed, AI cores shut down. "The bloodline has changed," one general whispered in fear. "The throne no longer answers to you." In the underground chamber, Oren reached out a tiny hand, and the blue energy around him expanded. Dr. Mason's smartwatch shattered. His heart raced, but his body felt calm. Selena's voice was soft. "He's not just a child. He's a key to what?" Mason asked. "To rewriting what life means in this galaxy." Suddenly the door burst open. Earth soldiers ran, in panic in their eyes. "They found us. Zetherian ground forces incoming less than 3 minutes. Mason grabbed Selena's arm. "We can't move you in this condition." But Oren, still in Selena's arms, lifted one hand, and the entire ceiling turned transparent. They could now see the sky. And Zetherian ships above them falling. Engines failed. Power systems drained. Missiles reversed course mid-air. Orin's eyes glowed again. King Varthan watched as his fleet's legacy was undone. By a child not yet a day old, he screamed in rage. He was never supposed to exist. But the stars didn't listen anymore. Back in the chamber, Selena leaned against Mason. He's not just defending us, he's choosing. Mason looked at her, confused. Choosing what? Selena's voice was almost a whisper. Whether our kind deserved to survive. For hours, Earth waited. No attacks came. The Zetherian ships remained dead above the clouds, and Orin slept peacefully. His tiny fingers curled around his mother's hand. That night, Dr. Mason recorded a message. This child is not a weapon, not a threat, but a new voice in the galaxy. He stopped a war without speaking a word. What will he do when he learns to speak? The war was over, but peace never truly arrived. It only left room for something worse to wake up in the cold silence beyond the galaxy's edge. Deep in the forgotten dark, something ancient opened its eyes. Not Zetherian, not human, older, hungrier. It had felt the birth of the hybrid child. It had felt change, and it hated change. Back on Earth, days had passed since the miracle in the holobase. Orin, still only a newborn, had already become legend. He no longer cried. He simply looked at people, and they listened. Not with their ears, with their thoughts. Selena sat quietly, holding him, humming a tune she didn't know she remembered. Dr. Mason watched from across the room, writing his daily report. His energy is stabilizing, Mason said softly. His vitals are not just strong, they're perfect. Selena nodded, because he knows what's coming. Mason frowned, as Etherians won't try again. Their fleet is still dead in the sky. Selena looked up, eyes glowing slightly. It's not the Zetherians he's worried about. That same night, across 3 distant worlds, stars began to disappear, not fall, not dim. Vanish. As if something was eating the light itself. Back on Earth, Orin suddenly opened his eyes in the middle of the night and whispered his first word, coming. No one had taught him to speak. No one was in the room, but every system in the base turned red. Something was coming. The next day, Earth's leaders received a message. Not from Zetherian, not from any known race, just a single phrase, pulsing in every human and alien language known: return the child, or join the forgotten. No origin, no source, just silence afterward. Selena felt her heartbeat slow. She knew that name. The forgotten. They were not myths. Mason looked confused. Who are they? Selena whispered. The ones who ruled before memory, before stars, had names. They see Orin as the end of their silence. Earth sent diplomats. Cythe Rhine sent warriors. Nothing returned. And then, the sky broke. Above Earth, not a ship, not a fleet, but a living shadow opened. A rift in space. A wound from it poured creatures of nothingness. Their shapes were fluid. Their movements impossible to track. They didn't come to conquer. They came to erase. Earth's defense systems failed instantly. Planes fell from the sky. Satellites screamed and died. Zetherian warlords, now allies in fear, sent their strongest. Nothing survived. Mason ran through the base, Orin in his arms, Selena beside him. Where do we go? He shouted. Selena didn't answer. She wasn't running anymore. She stopped, turned, and took Orin in her arms. It's time, she said. Time for what? Mason asked. Selena smiled through tears. For him to choose. They reached the surface. The sky above them was cracking. The earth itself trembled. Selena held Orin to her chest and whispered something only he could hear. Then she stepped forward. We are not afraid of you, she shouted into the void. The shadows paused, and then they laughed, not with sound but with memory. They showed visions of civilizations they had erased before. Entire galaxies gone in a blink, and now Earth was next. But Orin stood up. A baby no longer. His body glowed. His feet left the ground. A symbol appeared behind him. 2 stars merging, spinning, becoming one. He raised one hand, and the shadows stopped laughing for the first time. They screamed. Orin's voice echoed not through sound but through existence. I am not your enemy, I am your end. Light burst from his body, striking the sky like a second sun. The shadow creatures burned, not into ash but into memory. Trapped in the stars, made remembered. The forgotten were forgotten no more. The rift in space collapsed in on itself. The earth calmed, the skies cleared, and Orin returned to the ground, silent, small, and asleep in Selena's arms. King Varthan, watching from his crippled throne, fell to his knees. He whispered, that child is more than royal, he is cosmic. Years passed. Peace became more than a dream. Zetherian and Earth rebuilt. Together. Selena and Mason raised Orin in a quiet valley, far from screens and thrones. But sometimes, when the stars aligned just right, people said they could feel him, watching. Not like a god, but like a guardian born of 2 worlds. Protector of all. The hybrid who made the galaxy listen.